What's up out there? Welcome back to some more Melvor Idle Adventure mode, and we're on episode 17. So, I am currently mining, and I am deep into the expansion mining. So, that's kind of my goal right now, and I still am not at that level. Good Lord, this is not getting there. That must have a really horrible reload time. So, first and foremost, I've been working on Township tasks, and they have reduced the number of tasks that you need to get to the next area. And basically what I'm getting at is if I go in here, I can now buy all of this. I need a few more Township tasks to get done. But these boots were like 14 or 15 tasks away. And since the Township rework, I'm only 9 away. So I'm not as far away as I used to be, I don't think. And I also have the Throne of the Herald ones that I can use to push forward a little bit. So that's one reason that I'm pushing into the expansion pretty hard, is to get these Township tasks done, because that gets me all the other little XP boosters and stuff, which I probably should focus on some of these other tasks. But like damage reduction ones, I'm going to have to grind out some of this stuff, like the dungeon kills and stuff like that. A lot of these I'm going to have to grind out, and they're more combat focused, or they're things that I don't have right now. Like the fishing one, I could probably knock that out fairly well. That's not going to be a bad one. But like this one's all combat, these trees. I spent a lot of time thieving for this, and I don't know. Some of these are a little bit tougher. If I could go into the Throne of the Herald ones and use some of these, like getting the Elderwood is pretty simple. I'm almost there. The Raven's Nests aren't that hard. I'm working towards the meteorite stuff right now. There's a few things that I'm trying to get at with all of this, and one of them is these Township tasks, so I'm working on that. The other one is I really want to push into crafting a lot more and start unlocking a lot of this stuff, and that's why mining and smithing are going to be very important to this, because I want to get all this jewelry unlocked, at least up into, I don't know, the 110, 112, 115 range. I don't know that I want to take this all the way to 120, but there are a lot of bags and stuff that unlock at 118, so the urns don't get here until 100. Necklaces are at 118. These go out to 120. I don't know that I can use everything or that I want everything. Like the meteorite stuff, I'm not sure if I want. Those are at 120, but like the summoner's bags would be really good to have, stamina pouches, stuff like that. So I know I can't use the hardwood armor out of here at all, but I think I can use all the jewelry and everything out of here. So I'm pushing into that. And that's why I'm working hard on mining, is to get all this stuff unlocked and get as far into this. I think I just need to be down to 112. I don't know that I care about Divinite or Cerulean at the moment, but we'll get there at some point. I just want to get down to Meteorite is my goal with this currently. And then work on smithing and, stuff like that. Get that all built up. So if you notice, my combat level is 121, but at 120, that means you can get all your skills up to 120. And I did spend a considerable time getting that leveled up. I was doing some various Slayer tasks to turn some things in. I don't think I had it last time. The Township quest or Township task of turning in your Necromancer's gear. I built up enough Slayer coin to turn in a full set of Necro gear and still have some left. So I turned that in. So that's why I was doing all the Slayer stuff. And then I worked on I spent a bit of time working on different tablets, getting those things, the combat stuff like the Yak tablet and the Minotaur. So that got into mining, smithing, whatever I needed to there. So at some point I said, you know what? I need to get this passive slot unlocked. And that means beating into the mist. So I dipped into the mist for a little bit. It was way thicker than I wanted it to be with the gear that I currently had. So I went out and ground out the Infernal Stronghold. You just needed to clear it 10 times to get the cores and then convert that into the Infernal Claw, which I did. So I've got that. That's now done. What I forgot about is that there's a Township task to turn in Infernal Cores, so I had to go regrind that out so I could turn that Township task in. So I did that, and I actually went through the Infernal Stronghold with my magic user set up with this stuff here, minus this Iridium Runestone, because I didn't have the passive slot at the time, but basically with ancient gear, mostly ancient gear, and then some glacier gear, and then the skull cape, the fire imbued wand, and the absorbing shield. So I had that set up, and it worked fairly well. Like, it worked really well. I was able to idle that thing and log out and not actually watch it while it worked. So I worked on the Infernal Stronghold a little bit, got that done. And then once I got that, and then I figured out how the Ring of Spirit Power works. I started using that thing, which I don't have equipped anymore. But the Ring of Spirit Power, it does not work with Ancient Magic. It doesn't say anything in there about it, but it doesn't work with Ancient Magic. So you have to use like the fire spells or just regular spells. So I figured that out. In the midst of all of that, I went through and got my Into the Mist clear, and I'm going to try to do updated video for that. Somebody said they were following along and they wanted to see an Into the Mist clear. I'm going to try to get that done. I just haven't had time to do it yet, but I'm going to try to remember to do it without the passive stuff equipped, and then do it with the passive stuff equipped and show the difference. You have to beat the place like 5 times to get the pet anyway. So I've cleared it once. I need to clear it a couple more times. So I'll do a couple of clears. And basically the gear that I have right now, the ancient gear, the Eris gear, like I'm not even using the right stuff there. This is pretty much how I beat this, was with the gear that I have equipped. The toughest part of it was with the melee side of it. That was kind of a lot of holding down the manual heal button, but I defeated that with magic fish and everything. It went through and it's done, and I have my passive slot unlocked, so we're good there. And then did some more Slayer tasks. Let's see, what else did I do? I did step up to idling hard Slayer tasks with melee, and I've actually switched over to Master at some point. And then everything changed because we got Township, and I had to go focus on a whole bunch of other stuff. And I hit 120 combat level, and it's like it all changed. So I was working on these Slayer tasks and then just kind of poof off to something else. So as I said, with 120 Township or 120 combat level, I can get all of my 120 skills, or all skills at 120, which puts an emphasis on focusing on the XP gear that you get out of Township tasks. So I've been working towards this. And it's just kind of a combination of all this stuff's kind of gone on. So I did a little bit of thieving in there. I did do some Water God and Earth God clears. I got a little bit more equipment, but I don't remember what I got. I think I might have got this Deadeye amulet, and maybe that's it. So I'm not getting any other new gear, but I did a couple of more clears on all those. I got my wood cutting brought up here fairly high. I wanted to get into this because there was something about turning in, I don't know, some of the stuff I needed to turn in. And then I got Township hit 120. That's leveled up completely. I've been focused on this. And then working on, I need to get back to crafting, but I've been working on a lot of mining because I want to get into crafting jewelry and stuff like that. And as I've been doing this, I bought a big stack of these gem gloves, and I'm going to be pretty well ready to just start crafting, tons of these things at some point. And once we get into level 100, which we're basically there, a couple more levels of this. Once we get into the expansion part, I'll be able to start using all the stuff that I'm getting from the expansion. And that's with this. Well, we can do some iridium stuff. We can do some corundumite. And once this stuff unlocks, we'll be able to get the rest. So anyway, that is where this account is. So I've kind of pushed forward. I've got Into the Mist done, which is great. That opens up so much more of the game because I have 120 combat level. I've got Into the Mist done with the passive slot unlocked. That opens up this Slayer area down here for Dark Waters. That opens up Unhallowed Wastelands. Like, that unlocks a ton of things to go do just by one clear of Into the Mist. I also have, if I go in here, this Signet ring, I got 3 of the Signet half A's from combat. It's taken me a month or so to get 1 for non-combat. So if I upgrade this, I have that, and then unequip that, go to Township tasks. We should have an elite task. Where's it at? Right here. So I'm going to turn 2 of these in, and I'm going to get 3 in return. So then we come back here, we equip this back up into that spot, and we're good to go. I was waiting to do that because I was on mobile earlier and I wanted to remember that I actually had that. So that takes care of that. I now have 3 of these Signet rings. That's awesome because that means you can have one on, once we get all 5 non-combat or all 5 slots open, all 5 of these equipment slots, sets, whatever they call it. That means you can have 2 of them, 3 of them for combat and 2 of them for non-combat and leave Signet rings on the non-combat one. So that'll be cool. That's very handy. And then have an extra one for combat. So anyway, that is where we are. A lot of progress. Unfortunately, my hardcore account really hasn't done much of anything since. So I don't know. That's where we are. This is what I'm working on, and that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.